Dear students, welcome to the course Science of Consciousness in Ancient India, and this is lecture 32. Now we are going to discuss the third theory, because in the last lecture I explained the two concepts, the theories of the Kashmir Shaiv Darshan, theory of absolute freedom, and second was the theory of reflection, in which the transposition phenomena happens. Now we are going to discuss the theory of recognition. See, recognition is a complete system, because I told you that Kashmir Shaiv Darshan has four branches of the literature. One is the Pratyabhigya, then Kul, Kram and Spand. Pratyabhigya is none but the recognition. So, here the theory of recognition is not only the part of literature, it is a complete theory also. First it became a theory, then it became a complete tradition. That is why Indian knowledge system is having theory, thought, theory and tradition. So, first of all there is a thought, then that thought is continuously observed. After proper observation, analysis, experimentation and there is a conclusion when thought becomes theory. Once the theory is practiced for a longer period of time, it becomes a part of tradition. This is the way we are having our corpus of knowledge today. So, here the theory of recognition is mentioning the Pratyabhigya Shastra, simple. So, I told you if you split the word in English, it would be like recognition. So, cognition and recognition. If you are able to recognize something again, recognition hota kab hai? The process of recognition happens when we are seeing something again. So, at the first instance of suppose at some point of time I have seen this pen. So, I recognize it, I am able to cognize its characteristics or attributes. So, this kind of structure is pen, I have seen this first time. So, I kept the knowledge about this structure inside of me. At the second time, at the next time, whenever I see this structure, I would recollect the same knowledge which is already available with me, and then link that knowledge with the outside object, and I would recognize this structure as pen. This is normal process of recognition. If you go with the Sanskrit term, that is Pratyabhigya, you can split the word Prati, then Abhi and then Jya. Jya roots denotes knowledge, to know something, is Gyayate, that means to know something. Abhi and Prati, these are the two prefixes. Abhi means in front of. So, if something comes in front of you, you are able to know it, and when the process happens again, that means the process is getting repeated, it becomes a Pratyabhigya, that means recognition. So, you are knowing that object again and again, that when the object is coming in front of you, you are able to know that object. This process is known as Pratyabhigya. You use the same definition, same concept to recognize yourself. Suppose your own form of being pure consciousness, that is being Param Shiv, is in front of you, and you are seeing yourself, this is me only. That form of limitless energy, limitless powers is in front of you. You are able to know, see that level. So, you because it is in front of you and you are seeing it again, that means at some point of time you are able to know that thing, you have seen that thing, but in the meantime, in the middle course, you forgot about it. आपको याद नहीं रहा, but sometimes you have seen that form of yourself, and that form is coming in front of you again right now. So, immediately you would make a template matching from your stored knowledge, and you would recognize, oh, this is me, I was myself Shiva, and I forgot in the meantime that I was the pure consciousness Paramashiva. So, I have realized that I am the consciousness, I am the ultimate state of existence. That means Shivo Aham, or you would exclaim like Aham Brahmasmi, Main hi Brahma hu. So, the complete understanding of recognition or Pratyabhigya is like to recognize oneself when your own form is in front of you, and this process is happening again. That is why it is Pratyabhigya or recognition. Now we can see what theory says. As per the recognition theory of Pratyabhigya Shastra, the 5 functions of consciousness are the basis of similarity and they become the cause of recognition. When I told you that we are going to recognize our own form again, so just again assume the same process for this pen. At the first time when I have seen this pen, I have kept the attributes and characteristics of this object inside of me. So, there is some knowledge about this object already available with me. In the next time, whenever I am seeing this pen, I am making the template matching in between the two things. One is the stored knowledge that is already available with me, and second thing is right now whatever I am seeing in front of me. So, again I am having some kind of knowledge about this object, and previously stored knowledge is also having some kind of knowledge inside of me. And in that process there is a process going on which is actually making a comparison between the current one and the previous one, or in the past knowledge. So, you are making a comparison between the past experienced knowledge and current available knowledge. It is called as template matching. Whatever knowledge you have already stored with you, and that is, if that is matching with the current one, you would say like okay 95% similarity is there, maybe this is the same जिसको मैं जानता हूँ, ये वही चीज़ है. So, immediately after template matching, if the properties or attributes are matching perfectly, you would exclaim that okay fine, I know this object and this is the pen only, I have seen it before also. This is a recognition. If you place your own form of being Shiva in front of you, you are seeing again, you are making a match template matching, you have seen your that form sometimes ago, or you can say your past experience of some time back, that is available with you in your memory, and right now also you are seeing your own highest possible form of Shivahood. So, you are making the template matching and you would realize okay fine, this is me only, this is me only, and this form is none but the Shiva. I am the Shiva, I was the Shiva, so I am the Shiva. I am making the template matching, and I found I was familiar with this form of myself. This is the recognition. So, there should be some base which can actually match, So, the matching of the attributes is very important in the process of recognition. That is why here you can see in the sentence, in the point it is mentioned, there is some kind of fundamental aspect which can be easily matched or which can be easily compared in order to recognize one's own form also. What is that? That is the 5 function, 5 types of functions. For example, take again the very simple example to understand this phenomena. Suppose you are seeing your childhood friend, you were sitting in the same class in 4th standard. When that person was with you, you noticed that that person is having a very a lot of characters, but the regular phenomena or regular characteristic that is available with the person is like the person is fond of speaking very politely, or you have seen that the person is very soft spoken person, or you have noticed some kind of things which the person is continuously using while presenting oneself, for example, the gestures of the hands or some other kind of body language. You have noticed these kind of things with the person when he was with you in 4th standard. Now, suppose after 10 years in the same person comes in front of you. अब आपने इतने सालों से उसको देखा ही नहीं है, 10 साल से आपकी उसका कोई परिचय नहीं था, अब काफ़ी सारे चेंजेस आ चुके हैं. योर मेमोरी इज ऑल्सो नॉट सो फ्रेश दैट यू कैन रिकॉग्नाइज इमीडिएटली, बट द पर्सन स्टार्ट्स टॉकिंग टू यू एंड स्टार्ट्स टेलिंग यू so many things about the childhood. He or she is telling you the things which are similar, which are available in the memory of him also and in you also. So, after listening to the person or after seeing the gestures of the persons for few minutes, you would be able to make a match कि अच्छा ये तो वही है, उतनी ही सॉफ्टली बात कर रहा है, ये वैसे ही हाथ को हिलाता है और बात करता है. So there would be a matching of the gestures or any kind of characters which the person was possessing in the childhood in 4th standard, and right now also he is using the same kind of phenomena. Easily you can match. So because of the similar activities, you would be able to match and recognize the person that this is him only, ये वही है. ये तो 4th स्टैंडर्ड में था, तब भी वो ऐसे ही बात करता था, आज भी वो ऐसे ही बात करता है. सो दिस रिकॉग्निशन हैपन्स ओनली आफ्टर द प्रोसेस ऑफ टेम्पलेट मैचिंग इज डन. एंड here you find like the activities of the person are becoming the fundamental ground to recognize the person. In the same way, if we have to recognize ourselves or you can say if we have to recognize our own Shivahood, then also there are 5 functions, 5 possible functions which are similar between delimited consciousness and pure consciousness. That means Shiva and Jeev. Bound individual also performs those 5 functions similar as Shiva performs, and these 5 functions become the ground for recognition, for template matching. This is the essence of this first point. The process of recognition starts from the lowest level in the delimited consciousness, and with its growth, delimited one moves upward in the upper levels of the creation or manifestation. Thus, there are 3 levels in the process of recognition according to the growth of the levels of cognition towards the advanced stages of the creation. So, we can classify this upgradation in the levels in 3 categories. First and the lowest category is at impure creation, that is Ashuddha Tattva, and the second resides at the transitional phase, and the third one is seated at the level of pure creation. The process of cognition underlies the 5 stages of expression also, because I told you we are able to be manifested in 35 dimensions. So, all the 5 stages Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti, Turiya and Turiyatit. This process of recognition would involve all the 5 stages together. So, if you are going to upgrade yourself, you would experience all the 35 dimensions of your own existence. So, we can go by the 3 stages one by one. The first stage is our normal cognition, when we are doing our regular things and perceiving the objects present outside of us, just like a normal cognition of delimited consciousness happens. And here total 25 tattvas are becoming the prameya, the object to be known. See the same triangle, this is the cognizer or the instrumental consciousness, this is object of cognition, this is means of cognition, this is means of cognition, sorry. So, cognizer is pramata, object of cognition and means of cognition. Means of cognition is here instrumental consciousness, cognizers are here subjective consciousness, and object of cognitions are objective consciousness. This is the revised triangle for the Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. So, here prameya becomes the 25 tattvas. In normal cognition phenomena, a delimited consciousness cognizes these 25 tattvas through the instrumental consciousness or any kind of prameya, any kind of pramad, for example, like direct perception, inference, etc. For example, my eyes are able to see this pen, that means direct perception is the pramad. So, 25 tattvas are becoming the part of my cognition through any kind of means, that is the direct perception, inference, agam, verbal testimony, everything. And who is the pramata? The Sakal Pramata, the lowest level of the cognizer. Sakal, Pralayakal, then Vijnanakal, then Mantra, Mantresh, Mantra Mahesh, and then Shiva. 7 levels. We have to upgrade ourselves to the Shiva stage. So, Sakal Pramata is the cognizer here. In the second level, which is considered as a supracognition, when you are actually transitioning these 25 tattvas. So, the 25 tattvas are at the lowest level of creation, that is Ashuddha Tattva. Once you are crossing this level, what happens? Prameya becomes none. you are entering into the stage of pralaya kal pramata. अब कोई प्रमेय नहीं है, there is no object to be known because you are entering into the transitional phase. In the transitional phase there is maya, kala, vidya, rag, niyati and kal. So if you are going to sleep, suppose you are going to sleep, so you would enter into the dream state, and in the dream there is no real object, there is no real object, but still you see a lot of imageries inside of you. They are just the images, they are being created at the surface of your own consciousness. So there is no real object outside. That means prameya is vanishing, there is no such prameya. And then when there is no object to be known, there would be no pramad also. जब कोई ऑब्जेक्ट ही नहीं है रियल, तो उसको जानने का कोई रियल मीन्स भी नहीं होगा. सो देयर वुड बी नो प्रमेय, देयर वुड बी नो प्रमाण, बट द प्रलयाकल प्रमाता would be there as a cognizer. This is the subject would be there, the subject would be there, but the objects are dissolving because you are entering into the stage of dream, and in the dream there is no such object inside of you. आपके सपने में कोई रियल चेयर है ही नहीं, कोई रियल टेबल है ही नहीं, आप तो सपने में एक इमेज को देख रहे हैं. सो देयर इज नो रियल ऑब्जेक्ट because your energy, your consciousness is directed inwards. So involution has already happened, dissolution of objective side has already happened. This is the second stage, supracognition. That's why we feel or we experience a lot of the things which are normally not possible in the awakened state. Dream में आप किसी भी बहुत हट्टे कट्टे मोटे व्यक्ति को बहुत अच्छी तरीके से पीट सकते हैं, लेकिन आप जागते समय ऐसा नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि आपकी पावर्स लिमिटेड है. So dream is having subjective consciousness as a cognizer, which is pralayakal, but there is no such object to be known, there is no such instrument or the means of cognition through which something can be known. When there is no object, then there would be no means. जब प्रमेय ही नहीं है तो प्रमाण की ज़रूरत नहीं होगी, केवल प्रमाता रहता है और वही सारी चीज़ें अपने अंदर क्रिएट करता रहता है. That's why in the dreams your thought dominate. After this level of supracognition, we can enter into the supercognition. We can draw the same triangle again here. In the third or the uppermost level of pure creation, the process of cognition turns into the initiation of spiritual cognition at the level of Shuddha Vidya or Shuddha Tattvas, and further initiates the process of generating the knowledge related to the Tattvas of pure creation, inculcating the knowledge of the real self or pure consciousness. That is why I told you this tattva is known as Shuddha Vidya, because it is it is beyond the transition phase. माया, कला, विद्या, राग, नियति एंड काल. तो आप अभी माया के पांचों कंचुकों को यानी पांचों कवरिंग्स को क्रॉस कर गए हैं, तो टाइम स्पेस सब डिजॉल्व हो चुका है. Then you are able to be seated at the level of Shuddha Vidya. So now you see your prameya would be your own consciousness, and that too Vimarsha Shakti. This would be the object of cognition. This is the prameya. Your Vimarsha Shakti would be the Vimarsha Shakti of pure consciousness or Shiva would be the object, and Pramad would be your luminosity. Because of the luminosity only you would be able to think about everything. That would be giving you the pure knowledge of the creation. So Pramad would be the luminosity, that means a Prakash form of pure Shiva. This is the Prakash form of the Shiva would be the means of cognition. And who is the Pramata? Vijnana Kal Pramata. You are entering into, you are being seated at the Shakti Tattva. तो शक्ति तत्व में आपको माया के नीचे का सब कुछ डिजॉल्व हो चुका है. So you are able to know the highest most knowledge about the cosmos or about the manifested entities which is being created just because of the power of Shiva. After this only you have to realize your own original state of being Shiva, क्योंकि शक्ति को क्रॉस करके ही शिव मिलेंगे, बट शक्ति इज ओपनिंग, इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ एंट्रेंस डोर टुवर्ड्स द रियलाइजेशन ऑफ योर शिवहुड. सो दैट इज द लास्ट स्टेज ऑफ रिकॉग्निशन. After the stage of Shuddha Vidya, the cognition of the pure tattvas presents direct perception of the real or pure creation, and self realization or the perception of one's own mega form, that is the consciousness, flourishes. And here you see the triangle dissolves, because the means of cognition is also the pure consciousness, that is Shiva. The object of cognition is also pure consciousness, that is Shiva, and the cognizer is also you, that is Shiva. So the triangle dissolves. ये triangle खत्म हो जाएगा. There would be only one entity, that is Shiva Tattva. So that is known as non-dual state of Param Shiva, undifferentiated, non-dual. That is the last stage, which is known as recognition. So see, as it is made clear that after the primary and the secondary delimitations, gross aspects come into existence. I have explained in the limitation theory. So the maximum delimitation, the maximum is the grossness. This is very fundamental point. Now I am summarizing these things. When delimitation reaches its peak, then the grossness is at its peak. When we move on the process of recognition, we start from the grossest aspect of manifestation with the help of our own body, the gross structure, and mind as a laboratory. So we have to actually experiment within. We do not need a kind of laboratory outside of us. We have to use our own consciousness as a means of cognition, that means as an instrument, and our own body as a laboratory. So here we need to know, or we need to identify that for this kind of experimentation there is no external laboratory needed. आपको अपना शरीर ही लैब बनाना है और अपनी ही कॉन्शियसनेस को इंस्ट्रूमेंट बनाना है. Then the process of recognition starts. In this process, the first realization comes about the third level of manifestation, which is our physical and mental plane. So normally once we enter into the process of involution, at the first instant we have to identify our physical and mental planes of existence. During this realization, during the realization of this level, at this level, knowledge about the composition of the gross and secondarily delimited consciousness bound in the form of body and mind or pind up to the level of 25 tattvas, from Purush, then Prakriti, then Mahat, then Ahankar, then Manas, then Panch Jnanendri, Panch Karmendri, Panch Tanmatras and Panch Bhutas. So total 25 tattvas. That kind of knowledge gets generated and realized. So first of all, slowly we have to master each of the 25 tattvas. That means Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi, ये 5 महाभूत सबसे पहले master होंगे. So once you have mastered the Prithvi तत्व, then you have to enter into the Jal Samadhi. तो आप जल तत्व को master करेंगे. फिर इसी the same process of mastering each and every tattva. After Jal, then after Jal there would be Vayu, there would be Agni, then Agni, after Agni there would be Vayu, then after Vayu there would be Akash. Slowly you are going to dissolve the gross aspects into your subtle ones. So this is the reversal of manifestation or dissolution. These tattvas are from Prithvi to Purush in reverse order of manifestation, I explained, consisting of 5 bhutas, 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 tanmatras, manas, buddhi, ahankar, prakriti and Purush. After the realization of this level, delimited consciousness realizes that every subtle can be manifested as gross, and when Panch Tanmatras take the conversion into 5 bhutas, and every gross manifestation consists of some subtle aspects. Once you master all the 25 tattvas, then you would be realizing that for each kind of gross structure there is a subtle body, and for each kind of subtle structure there can be a gross body. For example, this statement is very important. For example, right now with our naked eyes, limited range of perception, I cannot see the viruses and bacteria in the surroundings, but once I see them through the microscope, I am able to see their gross bodies. So see, अभी उस वही शरीर मेरे लिए सटल है, और जब मैं उसे स्टेन करके स्लाइड में देखूंगी तो वही शरीर मेरे लिए ग्रॉस में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. मतलब हर सटल बॉडी अपने आप को एक ग्रॉस फॉर्म में मैनिफेस्ट कर सकती है, और हर एक ग्रॉस स्ट्रक्चर का एक सटल फॉर्म है. सो सपोज आई एम गोइंग टू स्लीप राइट नाउ, सो जस्ट आफ्टर आई एम ट्रांजिशनिंग टू द ड्रीम स्टेट, I would be able to see a lot of the things in the form of imagery in my dreams. So in this gross body also there is some subtle structure which is able to perceive different things and experience different phenomena, that too in the dream state. So for each gross body there is a subtle body, and for each subtle structure there would be a gross body. This is the this kind of experience or knowledge comes when we actually master the 25 tattvas, the first level. And then After we cross this first level, the point is continued from the previous one itself, like this is the reason why micro and nano organisms like protozoans, viruses and bacteria acquire a gross form through staining and slide preparation and come into the range of visualization through the high resolution microscope. Otherwise, they remain subtle and beyond the range of our normal eyes and cognition. Now, further the thought becomes strong that there is something subtle always residing everywhere and in each and every constituent of the universe. This realization of subtle aspects generate a kind of buddhi to treat everyone and everything same within and outside, and acknowledges the transformation of cognition process from normal to supranormal level. So, if you have mastered, if any individual, any bound individual or any delimited consciousness is able to master the first level, then automatically there would be a kind of knowledge that everything is having the same kind of underlying structure. This is the first level of experience and the knowledge comes automatically. The flow of this kind of knowledge continues in all the phases of the manifestation of consciousness, that is in Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti, Turi and Turiyati. So, आफ्टर मास्टरिंग दिस फर्स्ट लेवल, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपका ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन या आपका जो सोचने का तरीका है वो केवल जागृत में चेंज होगा. नो, दिस काइंड ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इन द एनर्जी लेवल वुड बी अवेलेबल इन ऑल द स्टेजेस ऑफ मैनिफेस्टेशन, इंक्लूडिंग द ड्रीम, beyond the dream, that is dreamless sleep, deep sleep state, then Turi and Turiyati. So, the change would be notified by everyone in all the stages of the manifestation. Even the dreams of such kind of enlightened persons consist of high lightened thoughts containing the contents of the wisdom. क्योंकि अब आपको पता चलने लगेगा कि हर तत्व मेरा ही एग्जिस्टेंस है, मेरा ही एक्सटेंशन है. सो इफ़ यू आर टेकिंग यू हैव टेकन जल समाधि, यू वुड बी एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट जल तत्व इज ऑल्सो द एक्सटेंशन ऑफ माई ओन कॉन्शियसनेस, एंड दैट्स वाई द क्रिएचर्स who are having their residences in jal tattva, they should also not be disturbed. Right now what you are doing, you are creating a lot of pollutants and all the pollutants are going into the jala tattva. या तो नदियाँ pollute हो गई हैं या समुद्र pollute हो रहा है और सारे creatures लगातार अपनी लाइफ को, लॉन्गेविटी को खोते चले जा रहे हैं. आप सब कुछ डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं, केवल खुद को नहीं सबको डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं. लेकिन इफ़ यू आर एबल टू मास्टर योर दिस काइंड ऑफ नॉलेज, देन यू वुड बी एबल टू कंसीडर देम एज अ पार्ट ऑफ योर ओन एक्सटेंशन एंड यू वुड बी एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट इट इज़ गोइंग टू कम बैक टू यू ओनली. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने उनको दे दिया है, अब ये आपके पास वापस कभी नहीं आएगा. दैट वुड बी कमिंग एज अ रिटर्न गिफ्ट टू कमिंग बैक टू यू अगेन एज अ रिटर्न गिफ्ट. So, any kind of disturbance in the complex web structure is going to harm you again and again, because we all are in the cycle. After this level, if the practice for the realization continues, the delimited consciousness reaches the second level of manifestation and acquires the knowledge about the transition forms, that is in between the pure and impure creation. And here delimited consciousness is seated in the principle of Maya and its 5 constituents, that is 5 coverings: Kala, Vidya, Rag, Niyati and Kal. Maya is delimiting principle which constrains the powers of pure consciousness at secondary level and creates a jeev, a delimited individual. So, here the level of delimitation changes slowly and steadily with the change in the level of tattvas, that is Kala, Vidya, Rag, Niyati and Kal. Slowly one the consciousness of a bound individual masters all the tattvas, or it is getting passed through the tattvas like Kala, Vidya, Rag and Niyati and then Kal. As the level varies in accordance with these tattvas, the nature of the cognition and knowledge also changes in the transition phase. The more you are able to master, मैक्सिमम पीपल कहाँ मात खाते हैं इस लेवल को मास्टर करने में. माया इज़ वेरी पावरफुल थिंग. इट्स नॉट लाइक इट्स वेरी इजी टू मास्टर द माया. माया आपको मास्टर करने ही नहीं देगी, क्योंकि माया में कौन कौन से तत्व हैं? कला, विद्या, राग, नियति एंड काल. इवन इफ यू आर ट्राइंग टू मास्टर योर कला एंड काल, then also rag is that kind of thing which would never make you able to cross its reign. अपना क्षेत्र पार नहीं करने देगा राग तत्व. क्यों? क्योंकि राग क्या है? आपका अटैचमेंट है. आपकी इच्छा का डिलिमिटेशन है, उसको आपकी इच्छा ही तो इसका रूट कॉज है, क्योंकि आप जानना चाहते हैं कि मैं कौन हूँ, दैट्स योर डिज़ायर, एंड लिमिटेशन ऑफ योर डिज़ायर इज़ योर आईनेस, अहंकार, and that is being created just because of the covering of राग तत्व। राग तत्व कभी नहीं चाहेगा कि आपका अहंकार अपने वास्तविक स्वरूप को जान सके, अपनी वास्तविक नॉन लिमिटेड और लिमिटलेस डिज़ायर और विल पावर को पहचान सके। सो राग क्रिएट्स हाईएस्ट मोस्ट ऑब्स्टिकल इन द पाथ ऑफ inversion, or you can say involution. When you are rectifying the inversion and you are on the journey towards the subtlest possible aspects of the self realization, then your attachment is the root cause that you are still stuck in the cycle of life and death, life and death, life and death. You are not able to cross the level of attachment or raga tattva. That is why I told you that even if you are having some or the other potentials, you have mastered few of the tattvas of lower creation, you have acquired some of the powers which are very divine powers, still you cannot claim yourself that you are becoming Shiva. मैं शिव हो गया हूँ, ऐसा आप क्लेम नहीं कर सकते। क्यों? क्योंकि जब आप ऐसा कर लेंगे तो आप क्लेम करने आएंगे ही नहीं। अगर आप अभी क्लेम कर पा रहे हैं, इसका मतलब है कि यू आर इन द स्टेट ऑफ आइदर द इनकैप्सुलेशंस ऑफ विद्या तत्व, दैट्स वाई यू आर हैविंग लिमिटेशंस, that's why you are able to communicate your experiences in the limited words. Until and unless there is a kingdom of limited words, then you are not the Shiva. शिव के स्टेट का जो एक्सपीरियंस है वो शब्दातीत है, वहाँ शब्द काम नहीं करेंगे, उनका रेंज ही नहीं है वहाँ पर। they are not able to actually explain that kind of experiences. वो शब्द से परे है, उसकी शब्द की सीमा ही खत्म हो जाती है, तब वो एक्सपीरियंस होता है। दैट्स वाई दिस ट्रांजिशन फेज इज इट्स नॉट ईजी टू बी ट्रांसेंडेंट। यू हैव टू मास्टर द राग तत्व। कैसे राग को मास्टर करेंगे? आपको राग से बियॉन्ड निकलना है, आपको डिस्ट्रॉय करना होगा अपना सारा अटैचमेंट। जब तक आपका अटैचमेंट बना है, इवन द डिज़ायर टू नो योर ओरिजिनल स्टेट ऑफ शिवाहुड is an obstacle for crossing the राग तत्व। तो जब तक आपकी ये डिज़ायर नहीं खत्म होगी कि अब मुझे शिव को, मैं अपने शिव स्वरूप को भी नहीं जाना चाहता हूँ, तब तक राग खत्म नहीं होगा। तो अब आप राग को कैसे पार करेंगे? राग को पार करने का मतलब ये है कि यू हैव टू जस्ट डिजॉल्व ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ अटैचमेंट विच आर नन बट द मैनिफेस्टेशन ऑफ योर लिमिटेड डिज़ायर, एंड दैट इज़ द टफेस्ट पॉसिबल जॉब इन द kingdom of the Maya and its 5 coverings. When delimited consciousness can access the knowledge about the tattvas of pure creation, starting from the Shuddha Vidya onwards, once some or the other potential consciousness, potential delimited consciousness becomes able to cross the Maya, माया को जीत लिया जिसने, वो शुद्ध विद्या में एंटर करता है, and that is directed towards the pure consciousness. The delimited consciousness becomes free from the secondary delimitations, and now only primary limitations remains to be rectified, realized and understood. Once that kind of potential consciousness has crossed the limitations of the Maya and its 5 coverings, then the transition towards the Shuddha Vidya starts. At the level of Shuddha Vidya, the cognition is directed towards the realization of pure creation, and this is the state where when spiritual intelligence arises. So normally लोग अपने आप को spiritual declare कर देते हैं, लेकिन spiritual intelligence तब arise होती है जब आप शुद्ध विद्या को टच कर पाए हों, उसमें एंटर कर पाए हों। तब तक आप माया के अंदर ही रहते हैं और माया को तब तक आप क्रॉस नहीं कर सकते जब तक आपका राग तत्व का ऑब्स्टेकल ख़त्म नहीं होता। सो दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। This is a state when spiritual intelligence arises and is oriented towards the cognition and realization of one's own real form, that is pure universal consciousness or Param Shiv. Here comes the starting of achieving the target of the complete journey of delimited consciousness towards the realization of self, which is known as recognition. So, your recognition would be complete when you are seated at your Shivahood. you have entered into the Shuddha Vidya Tattva, then you are able to master what is Ishwar, what is Sadashiv, then what is Shakti, and once Shakti gives you the entrance door towards the Shiva, then you are going to be seated at the stage of Shivahood. ये वो स्टेज है, तब आपका रिकॉग्निशन का प्रोसेस, दैट मीन्स द प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रत्यभिज्ञा इज गोइंग टू बी कंप्लीटेड. दिस इज द अंडरस्टैंडिंग. Now the question comes, when I said like Maya is the toughest possible level in the journey, which is not easy to be crossed or mastered. It's not an easy task. So what are the possible practices? The next question of the student becomes like, ऐसा कौन सा रास्ता है जिससे मैं ये सब मास्टर कर सकूँ? So please explain the methods or the practices through which I can recognize myself, the state of Shivahood. I want to experience that state. Now the Shastra, Agam Shastra or Kashmir Shaiva explains the practices for the recognition. You see, they have listed the three practices, with three powerful practices. One is Adav Upay. Upay is the technical word here, Upay. In Sanskrit, Upay normally it is a kind of means or method through which you can recognize or realize your own stage of ultimate existence. So first is Adav, because Adav is a mal also, it restricts our Kriya Shakti, delimits our Kriya Shakti. From that only we have Adav Upay. Then second is Shaktopay and third is Shambhav Upay. So three upayas are described, and after that also there is one more which is known as Anupay. If you fuse the word an plus upay, it would be like this one, Anupay. And this is also known as Ananda Upay, blissful means, because it does not really involves any processes. So the three Shambhav, Shakt and Adav are requiring some kind of practices, because they give you the results after a long duration of practice, continuous practice. But there are few kind of enlightened persons also who does not need any kind of proper means just to get the realization of the last stage of Shiva, because that their journey is already completed in the previous births. So in that case, if the same consciousness is getting rebirth, it is automatically enlightened. So by just a flash of knowledge, there would be the realization of the original state of the Shivahood, and it would be relieving from the bonds of this cycle of impression and fluctuation, This is a cycle of sufferings. So you would be able to cross the cycle of sufferings. For that kind of enlightened persons, the last one is being described, which is known as Ananda Upay or Anupay, without any proper means. Without using any proper means, you are able to touch your Shivahood. After this, we would be going to understand these upayas and what are they. So first of all, we will take Adav Upay. There are few practices. Adav Upay is actually prescribed for the lowest possible level of creatures. Lowest in what sense? Grossest ones. सबसे ज़्यादा जो ignorant है, that is अबुद्ध, कुछ नहीं जानते हैं. So tamas dominating. They are completely away from the knowledge of the real creation or their own existence. So they are being advised to go or to hold on those kind of practices through which there can be a possibility of transformation towards the upper level of the creation. So you can see here, for due to the Shakti part, this point is being described in the context of Anandopay itself. So due to the Shakti part or the descent of the grace of pure consciousness in a very intense degree, everything needed for the realization, beginning from the liquidation of atomic impurity up to the recognition of the state of Param Shiva, may be achieved by the aspirant immediately, with and without going through any sadhana or discipline. That is a part of Ananda Upay. This is being described in this point, Ananda Upay. And here Shakti is the original Upay herself, and a word from the Guru, the spiritual teacher, regarding the identity of the individual with the ultimate pure consciousness is sufficient to reveal the truth. This is being described in the context of Ananda Upay or Anupay, without any proper means. Now, we are entering into the next stage for understanding Adav Upay. So, here it is mentioned like the right means is Sat Tark, right means the right kind of logical understanding or method, logical method. Sat Tark, if you split the word Sat Tark, it is a very technical term of the Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. Sat and then Tark. Tark means logic and Sat means proper. So, a kind of proper logic, a kind of right or correct logic is known as Sat Tark, and this can be attained through various practices like Yag, Hom, Vrat, Jap and Yog. These are the methods which are available for Adav Upay, which are prescribed in the Shastra for in an individual for a delimited consciousness who is at the grossest level and highly ignorant about everything. So, first is Yag. What is Yag? Yag is offering of all the entities to the ultimate for the purpose of attaining firm conviction in the form of determinate knowledge. If you are offering something Yag is not equal to the Yaj. Why? Because Yag is a kind of internal process. Suppose you are offering your own thoughts, your own achievements to some higher level of your own existence, that is also a Yag. So, it by considering a firm conviction that you are that ultimate, you possess that ultimate structure within yourself, that strong conviction is Yag. So, it is not यज्ञिक, आप किसी बाहर की आग्नि में कोई आहुति नहीं दे रहे हैं, अपने ही अंदर इस तरह का अपना किया हुआ हर एक्शन अपने किसी हायर कॉन्शियसनेस को एक तरीके से ऑफर करते चले जा रहे हैं कि मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मेरा एक सुप्रीम सेल्फ है वो ये सब कुछ कर रहा है. सो यू आर ट्राइंग टू टेक एन एग्जिट फ्रॉम द साइकिल ऑफ एक्शंस एंड द फ्रूट्स. दिस इज याग. Second, offerings into the consecrated is the dissolution of all the entities into the fire of consciousness of ultimate, who takes delight in consuming all and making them remain as a flame of fire alone. So, अगर किसी यज्ञ में आहुति देते हैं, चाहे वो बाहर की अग्नि हो यज्ञ के रूप में, और या आप अपने मन के अंदर भी अपने बुरे विचारों की आहुति डाल दे रहे हैं, तो भी वो एक प्रकार का होम हो गया. There is a difference. याग is different and home is different. Home is a kind of offerings in the fire, and it can be a fire of inside also, it can be a fire of outside also. Yag is a kind of mental you can say surrender, mental surrender of all the actions and the fruits of the actions to your own higher self. So, Yag and home, two different things. Then the third is repetition. This is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one. Repetition of the mantra is jap. When you are repeatedly contemplating on some kind of sound structures or through beats of the mala or garland, then also that this is a kind of jap, and it is for the purpose of enlivening reflective cognitions, but without being dependent on them, existing as knowable externally or internally and appearing as if they are distinct from the highest reality. This is kind of jap. So, if you are doing this kind of jap through a garland or mala, तो कई बार आप काउंटिंग भूल जाते हैं, काउंटिंग नहीं करनी है वहाँ पे आपको हर बीट पे आपको अपनी ब्रेथ को मेजर आउट करना है, सो दैट यू कैन इन्हांस द ड्यूरेशन ऑफ holding the air inside of you. It's a kind of pranayam itself. So, this is a jap. Fourth one is vrat. Vrat is the perception with the firm conviction that the body, a jar are in essence identical with the ultimate, which is not to be attained by any other means. So, see, vrat is not like fasting कि खाना नहीं खाएंगे तो व्रत हो गया, नहीं. व्रत का मतलब होता है your firm conviction that whatever consciousness is inside of me, the same consciousness is available outside of me also, in this table, in this chair, in this projector, in this pen. These are also the extension of my own consciousness. So, I should not destroy them. This is a determination, this is a vrat. This is the fourth one. And then as it is said in the Nandi Shikha. Nandi Shikha is a text, and here it is mentioned that the highest possible vrat is the harmony of all. If you are able to recognize each and every manifested entity as an extension of your own consciousness, you would be in harmony with all of them. You won't make a disturbances in the रिलेशनशिप्स. सर्वम सर्वात्मकम, सब में मैं ही हूँ और सब सब में है, मुझ में भी सब कुछ है और सब में मैं भी हूँ. दिस काइंड ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग, दिस काइंड ऑफ नॉलेज इज ऑफ द हाइएस्ट पॉसिबल लेवल ऑफ व्रत. In the end, there is a very interesting thing, that is bhavana. Abhinav Gupta, the scholar of Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, he is the most popular scholar of the Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. He says like bhavana is the power of spiritual attention and the total dedication of the mind to one central thought, a spiritual thirst towards the source of one's being. So, bhavana word becomes a technical term of Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. Bhavana, for example, in general saying we use the word like Jaki rahi bhavana jaisi, Prabhu Murat dekhi tin taisi. In the Avadhi, in the this kind of saying is there. So, what does it mean? If you are trying to contemplate on some entity, considering it as a deity, it would be a deity. It is up to you what kind of perception you are having about that object. So, if you are trying to contemplate on a picture of your father, that is your deity, and that is something which is going to give you the fruit, desired fruit, whatever you are targeting. So, you would transform yourself up to the characters of your father. If you are considering Hanuman as your deity, as your Aradhya, you would be transforming yourself up to the characters or the attributes of that Hanuman. So, that means bhavana transforms an individual. If you want to see a kind of demon inside of this one, you would be transformed into a demon. So, your conviction to consider yourself as some other object is the real key for the transformation. So, जो आप जिसको कंसिडर कर लेंगे बस आप वही बन जाएंगे. This is something which is bhavana. So, because I told you that subjectification and objectification is a continuous process. I am creating the objects from within me, then I am again submerging all the objects inside of my own subjective consciousness. So, automatically subjectification and objectification is a continuous process. It is a kind of a spontaneous activity. The kind of perception you would create, that would be giving you the transformation to that level. So, you can see there are 5 methods of transformation which are the part of none but the Arab Upay. So, lowest most or the grossest possible level, at the grossest possible level, the delimited consciousness are prescribed by the Shastra that they should practice either of these methods or all of the methods as per their suitability: Yag, Hom, Jap, Vrat or Bhavana. Then he continues like a Sadguru. What is the role of the teacher here? So, he mentions the name of a Sadguru, not an ordinary Guru. A Sadguru means a kind of right or an appropriate, a proper teacher. Who is a proper teacher? The one who has mastered oneself first. आपको ऐसा कोई टीचर उस चीज़ की दीक्षा दे जिसकी मास्टरी उसने खुद नहीं की है, तो वो सदगुरु नहीं है. The one who has mastered his or her own consciousness, supreme consciousness, then that person is supposed to give the preaching to the Shishya. So, a Sadguru initiates an aspirant into the mysteries of the Agamas and into the irrefutable conviction of the essential self being Shiva, directed towards the pure consciousness, and the second step consists in Sattark. So, Sattark is a technical term, does not mean logical chopping, it is training the mind in harmonious consonance with the truth of the essential self, that I am the Shiva, Shivo Aham. This kind of a statement is known as Sattark, right kind of logic. The Tark or the logic which is Sat, that cannot be falsified at any of the 3 stages like of time, like Trikala Abadhitam Eva Satam. This is very important. We can only address something as Sat or in existence when it is Trikala Badhit. That means, it is in existence within the time segmentation also and after the dissolution of time segmentation also. That is only Sat. So, when you are mentioning Sat Guru or you are mentioning Sat Tark, you need to understand that Sat is representing that kind of thing which is existence all the time, everlasting. And this culminates in the bhavana. To attain this state of Sattark, stopping of all the fluctuations of the mind is very important, and that process has been termed as Vikalpakshaya. So, see, in the yoga system we said like stopping of all the fluctuations is what? Yoga. Definition of yoga what? Yoga is being mentioned in the Yoga Sutras, Yogash Chittravritti Nirodha. What is yoga? Yoga is the stopping of all the fluctuations of consciousness. Here stopping of all the fluctuations of consciousness is known as Vikalpakshaya. Shaya means destruction of all the optional knowledges, possible options. If you are having multiple possible options, you would be in a state of confusion. So, first of all you have to destruct, you have to just vanish all the multiple ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल. जितने ज़्यादा विकल्प होंगे आप उतने ज़्यादा डिस्ट्रैक्ट होंगे, आप उतने ज़्यादा कन्फ्यूज हो जाएंगे. जितना कम विकल्प होगा उतना आसानी से आप एक ही पॉइंट पर फोकस हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि अभी टारगेट क्या है? टू कॉन्सेंट्रेट वंस ओन कॉन्शियसनेस एट अ सिंगल लोकस. दैट इज गोइंग टू गिव यू द ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द कॉन्शियसनेस इन द लेवल्स ऑफ द कॉन्शियसनेस. So, first stage is Vikalpakshaya. Vikalpas are the mental constructs which are continuously gyrating in our mind. So, in the beginning itself I have told many times that the disorders which are right now addressed in psychology, they are not a kind of disease. This is just like you are making yourself distracted among so many possible options, and that is why the people who are facing the issue of overthinking, hyperthinking, they are considered to be not using their whole of the energy, because their maximum energy is distracted or wasted in different kind of options. The more options are there, the more you are distracted. So, this is the first stage. You have to destroy the multiple options available, you have to focus on the single thing, that so that you can enter into the stage of transformation. This is the first stage, Vikalpakshaya. When we succeed in stopping the diversified flow of the Vikalpas, we will be able to achieve a peaceful level and a focused concentration would be established. When delimited consciousness is able to access the knowledge about the tattvas of pure creation, starting from Shuddha Vidya onwards and is directed towards the pure consciousness, the delimited consciousness becomes free from the secondary limitations, and now only primary limitations remains to be rectified and understood. At the level of Shuddha Vidya, the cognition is directed towards the realization of pure creation, and this is the state where spiritual intelligence arises and is oriented towards the cognition and realization of one's own self. We have discussed this, and last at the end here comes the starting of achieving the target of complete journey of delimited consciousness towards the realization of one's own highest possible structure, that is of ultimate consciousness. So, the recognition process is completed when one delimited consciousness recognizes one's own Shivahood. This is the complete understanding, and in that process we need to focus on the five. We can have these 5 methods if we are starting from Adavupaya. If we are able to master our Shakti Tattva directly, instrumental consciousness or Chiti, then we are in the Shaktopaya, and if we are able to focus or contemplate on our own Shivahood, that becomes the Shambhavopaya. So, in the beginning we all have to start with the Adavupaya only, क्योंकि grossest possible level पर अज्ञान बहुत ज़्यादा है, illusion, ignorance is much more. So, we can begin from through any of the method of concentration by using the method of Sattark and Vikalpakshaya. If you start this process at the first level, then slowly you would be entering into the stages of transformation. So, on the basis of this discussion, we can have few questions in the examination. For example, if you are being asked to write the short notes on the theory of recognitions, then you can write what recognition is, what the theory of recognition says, what is the meaning of Pratyabhigya, what is the meaning of the word recognition. And if you are being asked to write a short note on the 3 levels of recognition, then it would be like normal cognition. Actually, it is not the 3 level of recognition, it is the 3 levels of cognition. So, it would be normal cognition, supracognition, then supercognition, and then supracognition, and then last would be recognitions, 4 levels. And the third, like if you are being asked to write the practices for recognition, then you can write this slide. For Adav, Shambhav, Shaktan, Adav and Anupai, then practices are Yag, Hom, Jap, Vrat and Bhavana, etc. And then you can continue to the process of Vikalpa Kshaya and Satark. So, after this we can have few fill the blanks. For example, the right logical method, which is none but which is not a mere or simplified chopping or the logic, it is a right logical method, is known as, the answer would be Sat Tark, Sat then Tark. Second is the offering of all the entities to the ultimate for the purpose of attaining firm conviction in the form of determinate knowledge. Determinate knowledge that I am the Shiva, I have a kind of supreme structure, supreme existence, that is Yag. So, Yag is different from the Yog and Hom or Havan, etc. Offerings into consecrated is the dissolution of all the entities in the fire of consciousness. It can be outside also in the form of Yajya, it can be inside also. So, it becomes Hom. And then repetition of the mantra is known as Jap. The dash is the power of a spiritual attention, a total dedication of the mind to one central thought, a spiritual thirst towards the source of one's being is Bhavana. Is the perception with firm conviction that the body, a jar are, no, this is Bhavana. Perception with the firm conviction that the body, a jar are in essence identical with the ultimate. So, this is Bhavana. Bhavana gives us the power to identify oneself or to identify each and every entity as a part of our own extended consciousness. Power of spiritual attention, total dedication. So, this is the Vrat. This is Vrat. Perception with the firm conviction that the body, jar, etc. are in essence identical with our own existence is Vrat. This is Vrat, Bhavana and Vrat. This is the correct answer. So, for this lecture, this was sufficient. Thank you.